Hi everybody, it's Lilac. Welcome to my kitchen. This is not a cooking show. Don't start panicking or anything. But it is St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day. I am wearing my green. I'm wearing green pants as well. And in honor of St. Patrick's Day, I am not making corned beef. We did have some, though, the other day, but I am going to make today, in front of your very eyes, perhaps, just a simple stew, because it's a very, very cold day, and in my opinion, there's never a bad day for soup or stew, and in honor of that, I always keep on hand ingredients that would go into a soup or stew. Much like a good witch, I always have broth, basically. Exciting. Okay. So I have a few favorite tools here on my stove. I have my meat in this tiny little frying pan. I'm going to give it a quick browning. And then everything is going to go into this double boiler pot. And, oh, there's my cats, plural. I have cats. I have two of them. And then I'm going to shove it in the oven. Now, I've never made stew this way. I usually just put it in the crock pot. Now, I have a lot of tools here. I have crock pots, I have an Instant Pot, but I have become very fond of this not double boiler, I don't know why I said that, this Dutch oven, actually. That's what it's called, a Dutch oven. I've never had one before. So I'm going to prepare everything and put it in there and then let it bake in the oven and see what happens. Because like I said, a good stew is always refreshing on a day like today, which is kind of cold and a little bit dreary, because that groundhog was right and we are getting a lot more days of winter. It's been freezing. You can probably see I have my greenhouse here in the kitchen. I have my seedlings in there, and some of them are starting to sprout. They're, coming along slowly, and I've got some herbs started, some vegetables started in there, and I cannot wait to get them outside. Another oddity that I have in my kitchen, and I'll turn my camera this way, is we have this hibiscus tree who has been wintering with us. She is scheduled to go back into the garden as well, but probably not anytime soon because we are so close to the ocean that the weather just continues to be cold and dreary. So I am going to go ahead and start browning this meat and cutting some potatoes while we chat. How's that? I've already cut my onions over here, so if I go on and off camera, you'll know what's happening. I spent a little time meditating today, and it occurred to me that there was a time when I first started doing spiritual things, when I started eating a raw diet. Some of you might know what that is, and if you don't, it is what it sounds like. Eating raw just means that most of your nutrition for the day is coming from foods that are raw, that you're consuming uncooked. Examples of that is obviously nuts, vegetables that are not cooked, fruit, of course. Fruit's a very popular raw food. A lot of people also include things like smoothies and drinks that you can make. The only thing about that is a lot of times you're adding stuff like yogurt, which that unless you made your own yogurt, which you can, believe it or not, I've known people who've done it. Time consuming, takes up a lot of space too. You can make your own yogurt, but otherwise you're ending up using something that has been processed, and when it is processed, you've got different things about it that you can't control. Maybe that's another reason I like this stew. I'm using potatoes. I'm chopping them. I'm using onions. I just chopped them. I did opt for some baby carrots instead of, like organically grown or carrots that needed cutting. And that was just purely accidental. I'm not even sure why. I think Peapod sent me the wrong thing, or I picked the wrong thing on Peapod. In case you're not from Rhode Island and you don't know what Peapod is, it's a grocery delivery service. So I order from the local market and then they deliver it here. I've used it a few times in the last couple of weeks. Yesterday I used it because I've had a really, really bad cough. Surprisingly, it hasn't acted up since I started making this video, but just prior to making this video, I spent about 45 minutes in meditation. And just prior to that, I was basically having a coughing fit for at least 45 minutes. So it's been a little challenging. Springtime here in Rhode Island can really, really dredge up these allergies for some of us. I'm just gonna turn that. I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil on my meat. That was not a drizzle. I doused it. I don't know why. Just happened like that. Don't judge me. So just a quickie about some of my favorite tools at home. I am a big fan of Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. So this is one of hers. And my fancy schmancy pot that I'll be sticking in the oven when it's ready is also from the Pioneer Woman. I mean, I'm not like a big ranching kind of person or anything, but I just find Ree very inspiring, and she has definitely made me want to learn how to cook and prepare my food myself instead of like opting to like buy something that was pre-cooked. I'm just gonna put a little bit of garlic powder on this meat while it's cooking because my family really likes garlic a lot, and I just think it'll enhance the flavor. So I figure why not while the meat is cooking. So basically, once this meat is browned, I'm gonna mix everything together in the pot and let it cook like all together in the liquids on a low temperature for a very long time. That's my big plan. I know it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's about 11:30 or so right now, and at 2:30 I'll be picking up my son from school. So essentially I want to get dinner started, and then I want to work on some other things for my business. And by getting dinner started and kind of out of the way and just cooking on its own, I know that I can meet the needs of my family later on today. Ooh, my cats, they're playing. I don't know. So I can meet my family's needs a lot better by preparing a dinner ahead of time. That way, when they're all home and sort of chattering between 4 and 6 o'clock, I'm not scatterbrained and trying to fry some chicken or something like that. We don't eat a lot of fried chicken. That was just an example. All right, so I don't want to overcook this meat. I'm going to put it in there, oil and everything, because that is just how I roll. Maybe I should preheat my oven. I do use the inside of my oven to store pans, and I know that's bad. So, you know, please don't tell the fire chief on me. As a property manager by trade, I would have to, you know, give lease violations when people used the insides of their ovens for storage. But the truth is, I do tend to stash things in there, and honestly, it's just my cookie sheets, but whatever the case, I've removed them. And I am going to now add the rest of my ingredients to my pot. I was chopping potatoes and I realized that I had pulled out a lot of potatoes and I wasn't so sure that I needed that many potatoes. I'm going to be honest with you, doing this in this pot I think is going to work out really well because I can already tell that I have a lot more room in this pot than I would in my crock pot. For sure. Now, just so you know, I did wash the potatoes already ahead of time. I know you didn't see me do it, but I did. So I went ahead and dumped some powdered beef stew mix. It's gluten-free with just herbs and spices. It's a McCormick. And I'm gonna add some broth. And I'm gonna mix that around. I didn't want to put too many of the potatoes in before I did that. So I put the beef, the onions, and the potatoes in there with the powdered seasoning and a little bit of broth. All right, and I'm just mixing it around a little, make sure that things are getting coated. Okay, because once I put the rest of the veggies in there, that mixture is gonna get heavier and harder to mix. So, now I'm actually going to add some more seasonings. So more garlic powder to start with, and then I'm gonna go to my cabinet and get some herbs. I'm gonna put some oregano. My husband really likes oregano. And I'm gonna add some onion powder because the flavor of onion doesn't really come through very well, I find. So I do that. And I'm not gonna add any salt. So that's it for now. I'm gonna just stop there. I don't have any parsley. And yes, I'm upset about it, in case you were wondering. I know some of you are wondering. I know Erica's wondering because she loves parsley. My friend Erica. She'll probably be the only person who'll watch this video. So thanks, Erica. I remember that you love parsley. All right, so I'm going to add quite a bit more broth because I've got quite a mixture here. I want a lot of liquid in this stew. And I know that as it cooks down, it's gonna release liquid. But I am undeterred, you understand. I want a lot of liquid. Okay, wiping off the top of my pan before I open it. This is not to do with the stew, but I'm opening a can of mushroom soup because I like the creaminess and flavor that it's going to bring to my yummy stew. I'm never going to get that out of there. My cats heard a can opener and they started going wild, so they better not jump up here. If you have cats like I do, you probably have to do what I do, which is every time you're about to cook, you have to clean all the surfaces in your kitchen. Now, if you have cats and you're not doing that, then honestly, shame on you, because that's disgusting. My cats climb on everything. They just climb on everything. And, you know, I have to clean everything all the time. So imagine working like a very busy job as a property manager, coming home and trying to like be creative in the kitchen and have your animals like climbing all over everything on you. It's brutal, man. All right, so I'm just looking at that and I am deciding on the spot that yes, I want a second can of the mushroom soup. Mushroom soup is another staple that I keep on hand, along with cream of chicken and a few other creamy soups, as well as I love to keep Lipton or Knorr brand dry soups, because again, I'm a big fan of soups and stews at pretty much any time of year. My family not so much. They don't seem to care for it as much as me, especially my husband. He's not a big fan, but to his credit, well, if I made a mushroom soup, all bets are off. He would love that. But to his credit, when I make soups, he's always, you know, really wowed by them and really enjoys them. So, you know, it could just be that in his life, soup and stew perhaps, have never had a very important place in his world. But in my life growing up, these were a very, very important part of our culture. Ooh, I almost forgot my carrots. I'm actually just going to put them right on top. Okay, there's no way I could have fit this much stuff in my crock pot. Nope, no way. So, okay, this is going to go in the oven, and I'm just gonna bake it all day. It's 11:30 now. I want to eat it like 6:30. I'm pretty sure that this will be done way before that. And I will post some still photos of my creations on my Instagram page and share it on Facebook along with this video blog or vlog, if you will. And definitely give me some feedback if you liked hanging out with me in Lilac's kitchen, because as I start bringing herbs inside and hanging them behind me to dry, I like to work with them in the kitchen, and I feel like, you know, if you're in the kitchen with me, then we can do more than just kind of talk like the way that we do about tarot cards, but you can kind of like be in action with me, or me in action more. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed my video, because I certainly enjoyed making it with you today. Namaste.